Don't worry. Okay, so you're starting, your hip position would be roughly around about the knee, and the distal ends of the quadriceps go just to either side of the kneecap. So don't put pressure directly down on the kneecap, but just cup around the knee and then work up over the rec fem all the way to the outside of the hip and then come off the end of the hip. So you're making sure you've got good long sweeps and you're going as far as your towel line and always working to the outside. Feeling into the vastus medialis, so sometimes I use my fingers to feel into the medialis and I use my thumb to just add a little bit of extra pressure running down through there. And it's quite good, the quadriceps, because we can just watch your face and then you'll be able to tell me when I'm on something that's quite good. And there's a few little bits in that VMO that we want to get into. Rec fem is right up the center. You can see again, I'm just moving it ever so slightly medially, so I can go all the way along the top of the rec fem, and then there's some tightness just there, and then I'll leave it. So I'm just getting a picture of where the tightness is. If I'm doing the vastus lateralis, I tend to use my forearm and I create a soaring motion and I work down the outside, and you get that little flicking that happens. When the muscles flick, it gets quite painful. So if you're trying to set someone at ease, you need to figure out a way of not letting that muscle flick, okay? And you can see it in the quadricep here, so I missed it, just let it go. Underneath there, flick, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, so people can start to guard against that flicking happening. So this time, as I come across it, I might just roll my hand up a little bit, and then that flicking was reduced just by me lifting my hand up to allow the muscles to come through. So if you do feel it flicking every now and again, just give a little roll and then you won't do it. Or now come on top of it, there's a little flick there, and then around the side of it and then down again. Yeah? So you're just changing your angle. So just try and get used to where that flick of the muscle comes as you pass across it, and just try not to make it happen, or loosen the pressure as you work across it. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Okay, so I've written my treatment plan up on the board. I've got symmetry, range of movement. I'm going to do effleurage and petrissage, and I'm pretty much just working through the top of the quadriceps at the moment. It's getting a little dry. Petrissage, we should know these because we did technique on the quadriceps, so hopefully you'll be quite good at this now. And we're just starting to mobilize the quadriceps. You don't have to do it in this order. Sometimes I leave the next bit till right at the very end, but it's quite nice to do. So we felt a little bit of tension in your vastus medialis. In this position, the distal ends of the quadriceps are relaxed. So if you want to put some tension on those muscles, we need to create a bent knee situation. So lift the knee, bring the heel up towards the bum, and then now these muscles are under more tension. So there'll be more stress in and around the knee. And if you've got any pain going into the knee, this is quite a nice way of relieving all of the pain into the knee. And there's some nice little techniques that I've developed, which I quite like. When I do the knee, you're going to move it around and you need to stabilize it. So I use my thigh and sit just on the very end on the toes. But then when I sit on their toes, you have to let them know that you're going to sit on their toes, because when I do sit on their toes, they go, oh, sorry, and they move their toes out of the way. So you're using that as a bit of a kind of stability, using your hips. So whenever you use your body, just make sure you get permission and you explain why you're doing it. That works quite well. You don't have to sit. You can stand, but it just makes the leg a little bit more unstable. But you have to work out the best position for you guys to get the pressure that you want and that you need. So with this one now, join your fingers together and then just push your palms in towards the knee. Then I like to rotate across the medialis and then just come back. So we're only doing the knee. We could just go down the sides. We're just applying a little bit more pressure. So I'm going to come half stand, half sit. I've just got a little bit of you can feel the tension, like lifting the VMO, and and just giving it a bit of a stretch. If the muscles are going that way, I'm passing across them to give them a bit of petrissage. So just working across the distal knee into there. And how's that pressure pain? It's okay. Just feels quite nice to do. And in terms of a recovery massage, this can feel really nice. And then go the other way, resting on the vastus lateralis across the knee. And then just squishing both together. That's quite nice. And then you can move into the adductors and more down the IT band as well. So far, so good. Happy so far?
So far.
So once you've done a little bit of massage like that, move them around. Be comfortable to move them around. Don't just kind of allow them to do all the movement for you. A little bit more oils on. And then we're going to go into the vastus lateralis now. So this is where it's going to get interesting because this is specific to you. So the vastus lateralis, we can again just go in with a forearm glide and just work down the outside of the quadriceps, working all the way up to the AIIS, right to the top there. If you go high enough, it starts to ease, and then you just go down a little bit further and it starts to really hurt again. And then you hit the TFL, tense fascial lateral, right on the edge of the AIIS. So you've gone past the quadriceps group and into the TFL. And you can do that today if you want to. Just keep going up, you'll go into the quadriceps, right to the edge of the towel line, and then just trying to find the very edge of the hip. And usually they'll give it away that you're just on the edge on the TFL. And that could be part of your pain, that one there. So that's quite a good one to get to. And if you get the toweling right, then you'll be prepped to get into the TFL. But we're going to do the vastus lateralis. So now I need to come to this side. And it's very similar to the hamstrings, so membranosus and tendinosis. So the lateralis comes onto the trochanter, this point here. And we want to strip. So remember I said there's loads of origins of lateralis going the whole way down the IT band. Grab onto the trochanter, follow the line of the vastus lateralis, and move in a diagonal. And every so often you'll feel like little tender nodules. So there's one just there underneath my fingers. And I'll keep working down. I'm literally now over the IT band, and there are a few little nodules. There's one again there. And I tend to just do little sections. So just start at the top, and it's painful there. Usually it's painful halfway down. So I haven't hit the real gritty bit right in the middle just yet, and already you're suffering. Keep on going. Again, if you're too high and you're lifting, you'll just internally rotate the knee. So you do have to be in a bit of a squat. And then we're working down through those nodules. Okay, pressure's all right. Just about. Reinforce those fingers. Give a little shake down as well. So that's quite nice to do. So I'm just like pulsing, lifting and letting it drop, lifting and letting it drop. And gradually just working my way down to the knee, and then as you get down towards the knee, this is where the inflammation is, this is where the soreness is for you, so it might get a little bit worse as we work our way down. Yeah. So the pressure's light. I've lightened the pressure because the pain is worse. We don't want you to be kind of in agony and contracting and squirming on the couch. You kind of want to get that like line where it's really nice pain. In a nice pain zone, you let me know if it gets too much. Just working my way down. Now I'm focusing in on the pain side. So this is where your issue is. And it's quite nice to get into it and just really loosen it off and dampen down that pain in that area. There's a little twitch. Go over something that was quite sore. It's important to know because we might, if we were doing a treatment, we'd move into a side lie and we'd go back and we'd do some compressions on that. But we see we're now picking up vastus lateralis. That was kind of a bit of a treatment on the vas lateralis. So just take your time, just work your way section and section until you find that real tender spot. And that should feel quite nice. It might have even felt like it was releasing as you were working your way through.
Sorry.
So that was your vastus lateralis. And then I said rec fem to retreat now. So now we're going to go along the top of the rec fem. And I said there's like something going on, like just there for you. So we okay with all of this stuff? I'll show you exactly what we're doing. But now with the rec fem, use your free hand and squish into the side of the hamstring, into the quad. That just stops the rec fem from slipping. And then just follow your elbow up with the hand on the side of the leg. Now rec fem is right underneath my elbow. If we come to where I felt that sort of soreness, I'm getting confirmation that there's something going on because I haven't had any more pressure on. I've just gone into the area that I thought was painful. And if I hover there, is there pain going down to the kneecap?
Yeah.
It is going down to the kneecap. So really tight rec fem.
So
I've got all good. And we've got a really nice kind of spasmed tight area, and it's just pulling all the way down into the tendon, and even following the nerve root all the way down to the toes. So we can stay there. We can do some compressions. Just release. Go again. And then that's quite intense. Like when you get that referral pain, it's quite intense. So you only want to do a little bit, and then just flush it through again. And then we were about here for that first one. So if we go just a little bit higher up, might go down to the kneecap again, where it might go up into the top of the hip.
And the hip actually as well.
Good again. You have to be really careful because I can feel it's wobbling underneath my elbow, and if I'm not really well balanced between my legs and my contact point on your leg, then it will slip and it will really hurt. You can imagine that really hurting if I let that go. So you have to really get your balance right, and then release, and then flush through. And that was good. So that's it. Pretty much there. The only other thing that you could do for the quadriceps is to make sure that you've got good enough mobility, or move your client ever so slightly to the edge of the couch. Change the position of the bolster. So the bolster is being supported by the leg we're not massaging. Bring this leg into abduction and then bend the knee. So now you've got the quadriceps on a little bit more of a stretch. Again, I tend to use this hand just to stabilize the quadriceps, and then I can use my knee just to stop your foot from extending as I press on the quadriceps. So as you push on it, add some pressure, you should get a knee movement going on. There's only two people who can see that. But you can confirm that that leg is now going into extension every time that I push on the quadriceps. So if I just use my knee to support, and then use the other hand to just keep the quadriceps in position, that's going to add a little bit more tension, and we could go back and retreat. Don't think I really need to do that to you because it's painful enough. But if you're working with a big rugby player and they want their quadriceps work really deeply, rather than adding loads of pressure and sort of jamming your elbow into them, just bringing them into abduction and bending the knee, stretch the quadriceps. That's pretty much all you need to do, and then you don't have to add loads of pressure. You don't have to wreck your bodies by putting loads through. Okay? Good. And then when you're finished, bring the leg back, and then we should assess it. So if you slide your heel up towards your bum. Good. Any difference?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. And then we could go and you could check the rec fem as well by lying face down. You might still have the pain in here and the flicking, but if we bend the knee and then just push on that point there and then go across. So no flick that time. And any pain?
A
Little bit of pain?
But less.
But less pain. Good. So we were treating runner's knee essentially with that work down to the vastus lateralis. We would change that up and we would do the TFL and the glutes to completely finish the job off. But we've started and we've already made a difference, so that's quite successful. Good. Oh, excellent. Good. Any questions? That's good. You should have fun with these because there's lots and lots.